Really excited to welcome in Elijah Gile here to talk about racing. You are, I like to refer to young men like you as savants when they do things like you're doing at the age that you are. When did you start racing? Like what age did you start, and how did it become a passion for you?
I started go-karts at 8.5, and we only got about 3 races in because go-karting was not my thing. So when I actually started to try to become a professional race car driver was 10.5. I was put in a dirt car. It's called a 600 Micro Sprint. We just raced around Arizona locally, and we picked off wins like my second and third race. Just it started coming, and we started picking them up, and we got better as the time went on. And I got a really late start just because in racing you have to start young and you have to start early to be successful. Usually, just because you got to have a lot of laps under your belt just to get into new
10's
cars.
Not young in racing.
No, there's 5 and 6 years old starting, but there's like younger classes and smaller cars that are slower.
Gotcha.
So they were under the class I started in when I first started. They're called junior sprints. The 600 motors are motorcycle motors, and what they have are like little go-kart motors. So that's kind of where their learning spot is, and then you just slowly jump up. There's a car called the A-class car. It's a little bit faster than a restrictor motor. So you just take a restrictor plate out and it makes the motor a little bit faster. And that's just how racing works. You slowly progress in racing, and you just get better and you move up slowly. And there's racing everywhere. So racing in Arizona, I've raced in California, I've raced in Oklahoma, I've raced in Washington, I've raced in Texas. It's everywhere. And Arizona was a good start for me. But we moved to Oklahoma for probably 2 or 3 years just to race micros once we moved up from the restrictor class, and that helped me tremendously. We raced out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's called Port City Raceway. Just a lot more cars and better drivers that are more experienced. There's a driver out there named Frank Flood. He raced for 25 years in his class.
And you went up against him?
I went up against him, and he's won all the races out there. And after... I'd say I've raced out there at least 60 to 80 races. Just got so much laps and races out there.
How close did you come to him?
We were always faster than him.
Wow.
There's hot laps, which is just testing. There's qualifying, and qualifying sets you up for a heat race. So you try to go out there by yourself and try to get the fastest lap you can. Mm-hmm. And it sets you up where you start at a heat race, and there'll be 8 cars. And you always try to pass cars or win the race just because it's more passing points that adds you into the race of where you're going to start in the race. So qualifying, I had 37 quick times out of 40.
Wow.
And I always was just really smooth and had a great mindset in qualifying. And then the heat races, there's something called the invert. They'll invert 4, so the fastest car will start 4th, and the 4th fastest car will start 1st. So they kind of just swap positions.
So it's kind of a little handicap.
Yeah, so it's always best to go 1st just because you get more points, and then 4th to 1st would be the best finishing. But usually just I would finish, 2nd or 3rd just because it's hard to pass. You have 8 laps. Everyone's trying to get as much passing points as they can, and you obviously don't want to end up tearing anything up or wrecking a car, so you just want to be smart. So that the Oklahoma stuff helped me out tremendously just on being smart and being smooth, and we were just out there for so long. We also moved up to midgets and sprint cars, which they're not the same cars. They're bigger and they're faster. So a midget is about 400 horsepower motors. They're small cages, and they don't have a wing on them. There's stuff called non-wing and wing, and I'm running wing currently.
This is all dirt track that you're doing?
It's all dirt track. Okay. So non-wing stuff is a lot more different than wing, just because the wing stuff, like when you're going so fast, the aerodynamic stuff plants you into the ground and sticks you into the track. A non-wing doesn't. Gotcha. So you have to set the car up to where it drives into the track, and we have a right side tire, right rear we call it, and that's just kind of what dirt car stuff is. You drive off your right rear, and wing car stuff is what's more professional and what will help you get into NASCAR. So that's the route we're in right now. We're in a 360. They have about 780 horsepower.
Wow.
Um,
It's just like my Toyota Corolla downstairs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we're in right now. You just kind of be smooth as you can in a wing car, and you can't make mistakes in wing cars, because if you make a mistake, there's always someone that's going to be faster than you, other than other cars and classes. So it's a really good learning curve to be in a wing car, just because in NASCAR, I already know you can't make a mistake on the track, because that's my goal, is to make it to NASCAR. So right now, currently, we're in a 360 wing car.
So I'm a bigger guy, right? And I hear chili bowl and I think it's dinner time, right? But I've heard that the chili bowl is a big deal in your world, and you perform pretty well in it. Can you kind of explain what that is and talk about what your experience was like in it?
Yeah, so the chili bowl is out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The first year I ran it, we lived out there, and I was the youngest person invited to race it.
Wow.
Even though I had a late start, people just said I was natural. I don't want to brag. And
if other people say it, it's not bragging. That's just repeating what other people say.
Yeah,
right?
So I just felt like I was naturally talented, and they said I'm good enough to race the race. So I was offered to race, and of course we went. It's an indoor building race they do every year in the Expo Center. They bring dirt, they bring stands, and they put a wall around it, make the track. Before the chili bowl, there's something called the Tulsa Shootout, and they run micros. What I started off in, there's 1,500 micros every year there that just race that and get the track ready and everything. And then a week later, after they're done, is when the chili bowl comes around, and it's one class, about 500 cars, midgets. And I didn't run midgets too often. I probably got around 20 races, which might seem like a lot, but there's people that have over 200 races in midgets. So I was a little nervous, but I was just going out there to have fun. But as soon as I strapped in, I was really nervous. And on practice night, since there's 500 cars, it's a big event, they split up the nights. So Sunday is practice, and Monday through Friday is prelim nights, and they'll take about 100 cars each night and put them out. So
how many in an individual race in the prelims?
So there's 100 cars a night. They'll do probably 10 heat races with 10 cars.
Okay. So not all 100 are on the track at the same time.
No.
Okay.
You can't even get 50 on a track.
Okay.
So like the final race of the night, there's about 24 cars. So they'll probably do 10 heat races, and you pull a pill out of, I think they do 100. You pull a pill out of 100. Whatever you pull is not exactly where you're going to start. Like sometimes if there's not 100 cars, if there's 50 cars and 100 pills, and you pull like a 50, you might be starting in the middle or you might be starting in the back. It just depends what other people pull. So
explain to those that don't understand, how difficult is it, the different places you start? I assume if you're starting in the back, it's difficult because you got to pass everybody, right?
Yeah, so starting up front's definitely a lot easier, but with like these big races without qualifying, because qualifying sets you up for your heat race, these are all just straight up off points. Starting in the front, yes, you can win. Yes, you may pass one car and win the race, but you always kind of want to start middle of the pack to the back, because you want to get as much passing points as you can. So you can start
earn
up front.
Points when you pass people.
Yeah, you earn points. So probably 2 points a car, maybe.
Okay.
I don't really know how it works.
So you have more points that you can get the further you start back. So there's a benefit.
Yeah, if you start 10th and finish 10th, you obviously get no passing points. You're just going to get finishing 10th points, which is terrible. If you go 10th to 5th, you pass 5 cars, you feel like you did good, but it's not good in that building. You have to you have to at least finish top 3 or top 4 in that building. So maybe like, I think I started 7th and finished 6th. Just, people, it's just other people have different equipment, and sometimes their equipment's not as good as ours, and their stuff didn't run as good as ours, and motors weren't taking off. So it ruined the beginning of our night. We only went 7th to 6th.
Yeah.
We got one passing point, and it wasn't what we wanted. So it put us in the B main because we didn't get to make it to the final show. So B main's the cars that didn't transfer to the final show. So they'll take 20 cars and 4 cars will come out of the B main. So I'm in the B main. I started 6th. I think I drove up to around 4th, and I fell all the way back to 12th. And I was just like telling myself in the car, like, you wanted to come here, you want to perform well, you don't want to make yourself look like an idiot, like you got to step your game up. So I just started driving as hard as I can and running the most smoothest laps I can. We went 12th to 2nd that race.
Wow.
We made it to the A main, and I don't know I forgot how we did in the A main, but it was definitely, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, let me ask, so if you fall behind cars and then you pass them, do you get points, or do you only get points when you pass the cars that started ahead of you?
So, sorry, I didn't explain it well enough. So in qualifying, it was points. At this race, there's no qualifying.
It's
just straight up heat
finish.
race. Wherever you pull is where you're going to start.
Gotcha.
So in the heat races, you're only passing points.
Gotcha.
Because once you're in a B main, it's finishing. It's where you finish. It's not the points. So
gotcha. So
a heat race is all about points. So you want to pass as much cars and get the best finishing spot you can to get as much points.
So in that race where you fall back to 12th and you're talking to yourself, you know that you have to get up to the front
4th.
of that to because it's where you finish that's important.
Yep.
So you hit that point and you said, I know I can do better than this.
Yes.
And then you wound up finishing, you said 2nd out of that. That's impressive, man.
Yeah. Just I feel like, to be a professional race car driver, you have to talk some sense into yourself and be more confident in yourself. So in that moment, I knew I could do better. Obviously, I finished 2nd, so if I would have not talked to myself and kind of just was in my own head, over driving the car and not hitting the perfect lines, I would have finished in the back and just made a fool of myself. So in race cars, you might think you want to be angry and think you're better than everyone, but it's really about just being confident in yourself, not caring about anyone else, and just being really calm in a race car.
Well, that is a great life lesson as well. But you got a big race coming up down in Casa Grande, at the Central Arizona Raceway. I know this is near and dear to your heart because you're racing to help Amanda's Hope, which is an organization that helps children with cancer and their families. What does this mean to you to be in this race, and how are you going to help with Amanda's Hope as well?
So yeah, we're racing the 360s next week in Casa Grande, and we're bringing them out. We've worked with Amanda's Hope the past 2 years. So Amanda's Hope is a program. Her daughter died of cancer, and she started this program to help other families and kids out. And she's a great person. I'm a kind-hearted person. I love people. I love, especially these kids that are going through, a tough life and are in the hospital and stuff. These are the people I care about the most and want to show as much attention as I can to them because they're struggling in life. So, yeah, we're going to bring them out to Casa Grande next week, April 25th and 26th. The races start at 7 p.m. We're going to try to get all the cancer families out around 4:30, and people's going to start arriving at 5 p.m. It's really exciting for me. I love helping these kids out, this program out. We try raising money for them every year. So me and my dad have been busy just calling people, trying to raise money for them. We present a check to them every night. That we've done this, we've raised $15,000 every time. This time was $50,000, but I'm not going to doubt myself. We're trying our hardest. It's just $50,000 is a big jump, and it's hard to get that much money. But me and him are really trying to raise as much money as we can because this means a lot to me. So me and him are going to keep on working on it. But even if we can't raise it, we're going to get like headphones. We're getting merch made for them.
Nice.
We're getting VIP passes. So there's a suite they could go and sit in when I'm racing. Just anything and everything we could do for these kids means the world to them. It means the world to me because I love helping them out. And it's just good to get them out of the hospital. And all these kids are so happy and smiling when you give them stuff and they see cars going around the track that fast. So it means a lot to me, and I'm excited for it.
I love that. There's not enough young people like yourself that put that kind of effort and energy out into the world. Is there a way that people watching can help donate and help you get to that 50,000?
Yeah, we have a link, and I have me and my dad read out a whole entire thing about how you can help and how you can support, and when the race is, where it's at. It's got links and stuff on it.
Great.
So yeah, we do have something.
We will put that link in the comment section below in the description so you guys can click on it and help out Elijah. Elijah, I gotta tell you, man, I've talked to a lot of people, but it's been a pure pleasure to talk to you. I wish you nothing but luck next weekend and in all your racing, and I can't tell you how impressed I was, and I hope you guys hit that 50,000 goal.
I appreciate it, and anyone that is willing to help, I appreciate anything and everything you guys give. It means the world to me and to those kids. So thank you guys for that, and yeah, thank you guys as well.
He's Elijah Gile. You can go down to the Central Arizona Raceway April 25th and 26th and watch him race, and click that link below in the description. Help out Amanda's Hope and help out Elijah.
Thank you guys.